What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Reject Podcast. How's everybody doing today? My name is Greg, and I'm joined here once again by my lovely wife, Melissa. Holla at them.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, it's the first video podcast that we do together. How does it feel? How does it feel that you actually had to get ready for this one?
Okay, because this is me getting ready.
Yo, hey, I had to do my hair, which involves me taking some clippers and removing 90% of it. Because you know what? A long time ago, I decided who needs to comb their hair?
I do.
When you could just cut it off. You should just do the same.
Nope.
Just wear a wig. That's what people do.
But then you have to maintain your wig.
You can hire someone. Can't you just take it to the dry cleaners?
I could just hire someone to do my hair.
You can't just take it to the dry cleaners?
No.
No, it doesn't work that way?
No.
Okay. Well, clearly I don't know anything about wigs.
Clearly
you know way more about wigs than I thought you did. You were hiding that from me, baby. I didn't know that was like your expertise.
It's not, but it's only common sense.
Is it though?
Yes.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything you own, you have to clean. It doesn't make sense if you wear something on top of your head and it's going to get dirty and you're taking it out, that you're going to have to clean it.
I was talking about wigs. That sounds like something else.
What is it?
Just kidding. All right. Well, hey, guys. Welcome back. It's been a long time since Melissa and I had sat down and just have a conversation.
We literally do not talk unless it's on a podcast.
It's like, yeah, I don't even know who she is. Like, that whole thing about the wigs, like, that's like the most I've ever heard her talk. And like, I'm just kidding. Just honestly, this would just be called the awkward podcast. We always, every time your exchanges, like, people probably don't think that we're married just because we're so awkward around each other. But we do. No, I mean, we are. What? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Anyway, today, we wanted to do a podcast to talk about a little, more of like a, I don't want to say positive. Because it is, I mean, I guess it's supposed to be more uplifting, but there's with all the crazy stuff that's always happening in the world. Melissa and I are pretty, like, we have like a kind of a more realistic outlook on life. So we try to just let those things kind of like, pass through us rather than stick to us, And so today we're going to just talk about how we deal with some of these crazy things that we hear all the time. Whether it's something that happens here in El Paso or something that happens, out in the world.
Out in the world.
So today's podcast is actually titled "The World Doesn't Care About You," and it's aptly named that because that is kind of how Melissa and I view some of these things that happen. We're not like particularly big believers in, like, I don't know, like fate, right, or like any of that stuff. We do kind of accept the randomness of the universe, and I mean, it's unkind many times. So yeah, what can you do? So let's say that you're listening to this and you're saying, like, what? That sounds like a load of baloney. What? That sounds like a load of baloney. Greg, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, just shut your mouth.
Just shut your mouth. I should just shut up. Well, if everything happens for a reason, here's the thing. I think if you go through life, right, thinking that everything happens for a reason, you're kind of setting yourself up for, like, more grief. Because, I mean, let's face it. There's a lot of things in life that happen that don't make sense, right? Yes. And there's a lot of people who, like, the first thing they want to know is, like, I keep looking at the viewfinder. I should be looking at the camera, but I'm looking at this. I should be looking at this. Anyway, it's a bad habit. Anyway, so I'm looking at myself talk. That's what I'm doing. So, what was I saying?
You're not supposed to look at yourself talk?
No, because then you look weird. Because right now the audience is seeing me look off to the side slightly. I'm supposed to be looking at right there. We should put like a little duck or something up there so you can see it.
A little duck?
I don't know, something. Anyway, listen. So if you're one of those people, I'm not trying to say that one way is bad or whatever. I just think that whenever you look towards life like that, like you're saying, like, okay, everything happens for a reason. So now something bad happens to you, and now you're kind of like sifting through all the stuff, and you're thinking, like, well, what could I have done better, or why did this happen, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you're giving yourself something else to do, you know, because I mean, processing what just happened is already a big chore. So now I feel like you're kind of giving yourself more to do. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Am I explaining myself right?
Nope.
No? Okay. Let me elaborate. So let's say that you were trying to get a job, right? Like this is, and you know, everybody tells you you gotta be positive, and you gotta go in there and you gotta like send all those positive vibes to the world. And so you sit there and you're going, I'm gonna get this job. I'm gonna get this job. Hey, I already got the job. You know, I hate the people who do that. They pretend like they already have it because it's supposed to be like the way you trick your mind or the world to do it. Or something was like, I already have the job. It's in my bag. It's in the bag. I'm gonna go in tomorrow. And then it doesn't happen, right? So
it's cool. You haven't just called yet.
You were yeah, exactly.
Busy.
So now you were psyching yourself up to you know, expecting this was gonna happen. So now it doesn't happen. So now you feel bummed out, obviously. But now you also have this thing in the back of your mind going like, well, I wonder why. Like, what could I have done? You know, did I not believe enough? You know, maybe some people tell you like, hey, you know, because, you know, you just got to stay positive. You know what I mean? But it was getting positive that gave you this negative. Well, it wasn't that the fact that you were positive that gave you this negative outcome. But despite the fact that you were having a positive outlook, something bad still happened to you. So I feel like when you just kind of put yourself in that mentality, like positive, no matter what, positive, you know, like you're kind of setting yourself up for bigger disappointments if and when something bad does happen. I think the strategy that Melissa, or I should say, because you don't use it like 100% like I do, but like the strategy that I like to do.
Wait, what?
No, sorry. Like the way that I like to look at things, right?
What strategy do I not use?
What the? I'm kind of calling her out like all of a sudden. I'm exposing. This is what it was. It was Melissa exposed. Melissa does not believe in it. No. The way that I like to look at things is the following. Ready? Here we go. No, so I've been reading a lot about like Stoicism, and if you guys don't know what that is, you guys should look into it. You could probably find like a YouTube video about it, simplifying it. But honestly, it's just about like changing your perspective on things, right? I think most of us try to focus more on like, you know, like actively being positive. You know what I mean? Just like all the time, you know, setting up goals, setting up this. But honestly, most of the times that when something bad happens to you, it's really your perception of that, you know what I'm saying, of what's happening. That is what's gonna make you act right in any certain way. Think about it, right? So like, if you don't get the job, right, and you think like, oh man, it's because I'm not qualified, right? Shit, I suck, you know, or whatever. Like my resume sucked or whatever. That's like something you would do. I can imagine you doing something like that. And so now what do you do? Now you're like, well, you know what? I gotta aim lower, I guess. You know, I can't get that job. I just can't. Or you know what? I gotta get more experience, so I'm gonna go get another job. You know what I'm saying? So like, instead of changing her perspective and saying, well, I did my best. I put myself out there, and it just didn't happen. Let's move on. Sounds easier said than done. But what I'm saying is that I feel like that's a simpler, much more, not efficient, you know what I mean? But it's like it's a little bit more of a load off your back, isn't it? Instead of you sitting there thinking.
I don't know. Apparently, I'm the other way.
Okay, well, do you agree? Like, do you think it's better to just kind of let things kind of come at you and like pass over you, as opposed to like letting them stick and like you holding on to them, renting space in your mind, as they say?
I don't have space in my mind. And my mind's always going. You already know that.
I do. I thought you were going to keep talking. I'm sorry. I was trying to get some water.
No, you can't. No,
this gear's way too close together.
What?
I said, oh, this gear's way too close together.
Yes.
Hey, this is our kitchen's right behind this blue thing. But we're not going to show it to you. Because they're dirty. Messy. We'll key in a kitchen. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Anyway, no, not our kitchen. We'll key in a regular kitchen.
Just a regular one.
You don't want to see that. You don't want to see our kitchen.
No.
It's nasty.
We've been really busy, so it's been kind of hard to keep up with.
I'm not even sure when this video
dishes.
I'm not even sure when this video is going to air. Hello, future people. No, but like seriously. So I say a lot of things, but maybe a lot of things doesn't have substance. So tell me, what do you think, or how do you like to look at the world when it comes to like negative stuff?
I mean, like yeah, I'll probably beat myself up a little bit if I didn't get a job that I really wanted, but I don't know, it just depends, like, for me. Like, if I didn't get the job because I was not qualified enough, then, I mean, I'm obviously going to just move on and try to get another job. Mm-hmm. But, or try to get the qualifications that I can. But all that's hard because, the circle of life.
Exactly.
You go to college, you get a good job.
Do you think there's like a little bit of a, like, to say that the world is just random, right? And like it just kind of does what it wants. Do you think there's like something discouraging about that kind of turns people off to that mentality? Like, do you think that people want there to be a reason for everything? Like, do you think they need that kind of reassurance that everything's leading up to something or it's because of something? What do you think about that?
Elaborate.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, if I told you, like, I don't think the world has like a rhyme or reason. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're just kind of like lucky to be here, and and everything just kind of does what it does and does what it does and says what it says, and the only thing that we have is, like I said, our perception, right? How we choose to perceive things and our actions. Those are the things that we can control. So we should just focus on that instead of like kind of all these random things, whether they're good or bad. Take them or leave them, So do you think that kind of mentality kind of puts people off, and it's kind of like, well, I like to think that the world is, is responsive to my positivity.
What I feel is like people who are like that, they hope that there's a reason.
Right.
It's hope. Like, I wouldn't be going through all this shit if there wasn't a reason.
Yeah.
For me, I don't really believe that there's a reason. I believe that it's life and you try to live it the best way that you can. Shitty things are gonna happen, and and we all want to try to change it, and we all want to be that kind of person that changes it sometimes.
Yeah.
For most people, and we're all looking for a purpose, and we're all looking for something just greater than ourselves.
Yeah.
To happen.
Yeah. True. There's something that the book that I was reading says, I mean, it's not exactly, it doesn't like pertain exactly to like just like it pertains more specifically to the way we interact with each other as human beings. And it's like such a very like kind of like opens your eyes a little bit, because if you think about it, like we're all just out here, doing our thing, right?
Just doing our thing.
We take in information and we just do what we can with that information, right? But ultimately, what we're trying to do is that we're trying to make the best outcome for ourselves, and what I mean by ourselves is like our goals. Obviously, if your goal is to keep your family fed, and that's what I mean. I'm not saying that it's just you. I'm not trying to be selfish. I'm saying everybody's trying to do the best they can to achieve their goals. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's so weird how quickly we can turn on each other, right? When somebody makes a mistake, right? But if you think about it, it's kind of hypocritical for us to kind of be like, well, this person is just out to look for themselves or whatever. We kind of put them up on trial, when in reality, everybody's doing the same thing that you're doing. Everybody's out there trying to figure it out, just like you are. Right? Maybe they have a different set of information. Maybe they have a different tactic. But ultimately, everybody is out here just trying to figure things out. And that's kind of like the big thing that I preach all the time. It doesn't mean that I don't get upset. It doesn't mean that I don't get defensive or whatever. But what I mean is that I think it's important that we look at the big picture. Right? I mean, everybody's out there doing their thing their own way. Right? And obviously, some people tend to do worse things than others. And I don't condone that, and I don't support that.
Nope. But
I think when we're talking about just like the everyday life things, I don't think anybody truly knows what they're doing. And that's kind of my philosophy, is like doubt. You know what I mean? I just don't know. I don't know. Like, I can't set my heart on just something, like, just be like, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that'll do it. Because think about it. Like, can you imagine if you had to live by the same rules that you kind of lived by when you were like 7 years old, like for yourself? Like, do you think you would do anything? Like, would you get anything done?
What did I do at the age of 7? I don't know.
Probably watch TV and eat like junk food.
Those are the good old days. Good old days when I didn't have to adult. Bless you, by the way.
Thank you. Bless you too. To bless all of us.
I look so much more.
Is that why you keep staring at yourself over there?
I look so white.
It's because I tan. I tans.
And also, I can't help but look at myself, like, because I can't. It's just weird looking at the actual lens than what you can see.
Right. Well,
I end up looking back over here.
The lens is slightly more like it's the aperture. Function, all
right, we're going off topic.
Function, record, autofocus, all those things.
Camera
effect.
Stuff.
Yeah,
yep.
Camera stuff. I was just saying camera words. It's different, okay? The lens sees things that we don't see, baby. Think about it. It's like we're looking
So it sees me as a freaking ghost.
Pretty much. That's what it's doing. Like, it's picking up all the light around you. It's like, man, this lady white.
I just need like a brown light on me. I need a brown light on me so I don't look
brown light?
Yes.
That would look terrible. You would look so bad. Not to mention, it would make me look even weirder.
No, just on me.
Oh, just saying. Yeah. How are we gonna do that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry.
You think I'm more high tech?
I'm going like
no, that's fine. It's fine.
And let's go back.
Let's bring it back down Earth. Let me ask you something. So it's been a couple weeks. I didn't want to talk about this like right off the bat because I didn't want to like. I don't know. I didn't want to feel like I would like people that I was like cashing in on it. It's not like we have a lot of viewers, so you know what I mean. But so a couple weeks ago, something really bad happened here, and let's covering it lightly. Let's put it lightly. Terrible thing happened.
Very terrible thing happened.
You guys have been. For those of you who are not from around here, you guys might have heard like the hashtag El Paso Strong being thrown out because of the mass shooting, and then there was another one right after in Ohio, right?
In Ohio.
So it was like back-to-back shootings. Like it sucked.
It was literally like 13 hours later.
Yeah, and like right off the bat, like I was already hearing like people talk about it like in the news, obviously the news and like different podcasts and stuff. Like people were talking about it. Joe Rogan actually had Bernie Sanders on. He's a Democratic candidate, and they were talking about it. Not like in specific, like El Paso, but like they were kind of talking about it. So it's been a hot topic for a while, but it's definitely never been so close to home. Like it's literally here. It was here.
Like literally, if you ask anybody from like El Paso, like obviously, if you ask anybody from where there has been mass shootings, they never think it's gonna happen in their own hometown. But we like literally never expected it to happen here, especially something with like because it was like linked to racism, racial discrimination,
racially fueled. No.
Yeah, racially fueled.
Anyway, yeah, it sucked. That's putting it lightly. I'm not really good with those kind of situations. That's another reason why I didn't want to just we didn't want to just get up and talk about it, because like the way Melissa and I kind of cope with these things, like we said, is different, and I didn't want to come across as like I didn't care. Obviously, I cared, and it takes me a long time to process. Honestly, like even right now, just talking about it, I'm still like kind of analyzing, like, oh man, like you know? So,
oh man.
But I wanted to ask you, so with, with the way that you and I think, we think a little bit differently than others. We're not quick to go out and, I don't know what that says about us, but we're not quick to go out and like get a picket sign and be like, yeah, we like to kind of sit back. So now, how do you feel about everything, the crappy thing that happened? Like, how do you justify it, or how do you like kind of rationalize it in your mind, the whole shooting thing here?
I mean, it's not rational. It was an act of hatred. It was pure hate. This is what hate can do to a community, what it can do to an individual, what it can do, to everybody.
Right.
And, it's heartbreaking, but, there's lots of people out there who feel nothing but hate.
Yeah.
And it's scary, especially because we have kids. It's scary.
For sure.
But
it's really weird though, isn't it? Because like the whole, like when you think about determination, right? And like when you think about like determination and you think of like that willing to do something no matter what.
I mean, he had that.
That's what ambition. That's what it was. Ambition.
600+ miles.
You always associate it with something positive. You know what I mean? But it could easily just be as destructive. Somebody with a purpose. You gotta know what that purpose is. What they're standing behind, and like that's the only that's the sad reality. That people don't want to talk about, because, I mean, it's easy. It's always easier to just say, like, well, this guy sucks. Like, that guy sucks. Like, we hate him. Boom, like, he's done. Like, we want him off the face of the earth. You know what I mean? But you see, like, the outcome of something so bad, of somebody determined to hurt people, right? And then you see all this good that comes out of it. Right, you see all these people like determined to help each other out, no matter what. The blood. All the blood donations that were like
where they had to literally
they had to shut down the whole
away.
And everything, and people helping others, with food and stuff like that, and raising money, with like shirts and stuff like that. Out of the kindness of their hearts. I think to me that kind of that's the stuff that kind of like reinforces that idea of like, yes, positivity and positivity is good, negativity is bad, right? But honestly, how do you stop good things from happening to good people, and how do you stop people from doing bad things? You know what I mean? Do you do that with positivity? You know what I mean? Do I think that if we had gone to that person and was like, hey man, you should just not look at life like this, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I know it sounds messed up, but like, all I'm saying is that.
I mean, but you also know you can't change people's minds, like.
Right, but people don't want to talk about that. People want to think like, well, the person needed some love or whatever. It's like, no, this guy knew what he wanted to do. Nobody. I don't think anybody. I don't know why people doubt that when they see that this guy had like, he written a manifesto, he had all these guns on him. Like we said, he drove all this whole way just to cause people harm, Yeah, when I heard that, I said, fuck that guy. That guy made his choice. You know what I mean? Those are the easiest people to like kind of, either throw away or like to make judgments on. Because think about it, those are the people that are motivated. You see somebody outside being motivated, and they're feeding their family. They have a good job. They're doing well in school. All these other things. You don't have to think about it twice. You say that person is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Like boom, good on them, right? It's the same thing when you see somebody do something bad, right? It's so much easier to say, oh, look at this guy. Forget about ulterior motives. Forget about anything. This guy wanted to do this. He made his bed. Now he's got to sleep on it. So what does that tell you? Does that mean that there was a reason? Like we needed something like this bad to happen for people to be good to each other again? No, I don't want to believe that, because that sounds terrible. That sounds terrible. Because think about all the stuff that had to happen for people to get together. Like, I don't know. Like that kind of stuff like makes me, like, it just makes me make my stomach hurt a little bit. Because I don't want to live in a world like that. That, you know, like, it's good versus bad. Essentially, that's what I'm trying to get to. I don't want to think about the world being like just good and bad. I think everybody has an opportunity to make something of their life, and every day we're faced with decisions, and some people are just motivated to act on those decisions. But let's remember that not everybody has the same intentions as somebody who wants to take their kid to the park, as opposed to somebody who wants to go rob a bank, right? I think that's really what it comes down to, is like your motivations and what and how far you're willing to do it. We were talking about this before in that podcast with my cousins, and we were talking about like your place in the world and society, right? Like, I don't aspire to be like the next NFL star. Right?
Well, you're not very good at sports.
No, exactly. But I don't have that, you know, like, I don't aspire to do that. I don't have that. I don't even have a necessity for that. Same thing. I don't have a necessity for being the first guy to cure cancer, or being the first guy to invent a way for diabetic people not to have to inject insulin anymore, even though I have a diabetic mom. I don't have it.
If you're out there and you're doing that,
good on you. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has a place in this world, and I would like to think that everybody has a moment to rise to the occasion and, of course, help others when they need it. But I think for the most part, I think most of us are just kind of here doing our time, as they say. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like the big idea I have sometimes. It's like, I think some people get fixated on, like, something has to happen. You know? Like, something has to be, you know, some grand thing has to happen to me, or I have to be part of something big or whatever. But most of us either are never going to get the opportunity, or are just not going to answer that call. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We were kind of talking about that in class last time. Kind of. Our teacher was telling us that...
Sorry, you have a bunch of fuzzies on your... So do I.
It's not my fault.
I didn't say it was your fault.
It came like that. Anyway.
If anyone is still listening to what we're talking about...
He was talking about how, like, people when they're growing up, it's like that they hope, you know, that they will be remembered. Right. You know, like, who's gonna remember them? They want to be kind of like bigger than life. They want to be remembered and mourned and stuff like that by a lot of people. And most people are like that. But then there are some people who are very content with just being like, well, my friends and family are gonna mourn me, and I'm fine with that.
Right.
But yeah, we were just talking about, you know, how there's some people who want to be remembered. They want to do the next big thing. They want, you know, all that, you know, the dreamers, you know,
right.
Let's just say the dreamers, opposed to like the realistic people who are just like, I'm fine just being remembered by my family. I'm fine just being remembered by my friends and whatnot.
Right.
And only touching those lives, you know.
Right, like focus on that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you're right. Do you feel the same way?
Well, yeah. I mean, I honestly don't think like I'm gonna be remembered by like a lot of people or anything like that. I mean, I'm fine with just.
Whoa. Amber alert.
Amber alert.
In Texas. I can't even say that. What?
What did you shoot?
I couldn't say it. Sorry. If you live in the part of Texas, I'm sorry. I didn't even get to read it because it went away really fast for some reason.
Because you pressed OK.
Well, I thought it would save. It didn't save?
It should be in your...
In my messages?
Messages, no.
Nope. That's weird. Isn't that weird? Because you think about it, like, that's like the text message from, like, the president, technically. Like, it's like a mass message that's being sent to everyone with phones. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
I'm not gonna be remembered. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, I agree with what you're saying. Like, because you're basically saying what I'm saying. Like, you.
Well, yeah, I was just saying that we were talking about that in class. Right. I'm going to school, everybody.
Oh yeah, you're going to school to be an EMT.
Yes.
To help people out.
Yes.
Which is good.
Yeah, I remember you asked me, like, after the horrible thing that happened, you asked me if that changed my mind.
It did.
And it did not. It actually motivated me more.
No, that's good. I mean, you have like a passion for that, and nothing's gonna deter you from it, right? So you're a motivated individual. And I think, like, with those types of jobs, like, that's what I don't think I could do that, just because, like, I know that, like, mentally, like, I don't know if I could deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, some people might say, like, well, we're just weak-minded, but, like, think about it, like, you know, there's gonna be times where you're gonna see somebody like as they're going to die, you know, and you're gonna have to be there, and you're gonna have to do what you can, and sometimes you're not gonna be able to do much.
Well, I mean, even like with, you know, a mass cal, you know, there's gonna be times where I kind of have to look at someone and be like I can't help you,
right? Like, gotta move on to the next person, and I have to move on
to the next, try to save the next person's life.
Man, that's a terrible choice. But I mean,
it's gonna be hard. Yeah. You know, it's definitely gonna be hard, and it's definitely gonna, you know, probably eat at me a little bit. Mm-hmm. I mean, more than a little bit, but, you know, it's I'm definitely gonna have hard times. But, you know, I want to be there. I want to try to help people as much as I can, and, you know, it's.
I mean, yeah, you save as much as you can. Well, we were watching Scrubs. Remember what Doctor? If you guys have ever watched that show, it's a good show. It's pretty. I've heard it's fairly accurate. Mm-hmm. As far as, like, medical shows go, but it's a comedy. But one of the characters said that, you know, everything that they do in medicine is just stalling, essentially. That's all you're doing. Like, you know, everybody's gonna die eventually, and you're just kind of stalling to see how much time you can buy somebody. What is that noise? I hear something in my headphones.
Me too.
That's weird.
How you doing?
Hopefully you guys don't hear that too, because that's annoying. There's like some static or something.
It's tough.
Yeah, man. I don't know. You know, well, I think Greg today is not going to say the same things that Greg is going to say in like 10 years. There's no way. It's impossible. I think the more and more you live, you know, the wiser you get. Yeah, the wiser you get. But either that or your perspective just gets broadened. It has to. You know what I mean? Because you're going to get more and more experience. Unless you just stay home, literally live under a rock or something. You have to. You kind of have to adapt a little bit. You know, and it sucks when things like this happen, and, you know, everybody for a second wakes up, and then eventually everybody's going to move on. Because that's what happened. And that's just the reality. Everyone's going to move on. We're not going to forget, but, like, you know, we're going to start to feel comfortable again. Until something else bad happens, and now it gets you back into that mindset. I think that's, like, the biggest, like, evidence to me that I think that life is just the way it is. You know, it's, you know, as we progress in society, you know, we get more technology, or, like, you know, we start to live longer because of medicine. Things have to change, you know, and they're not always going to be for the best. You know, we have, there's just too many variables. And that's what I tell people all the time. Like, people's like, well, how do you think we could solve the border problem? I have no idea. There's way too many moving parts for me to just think like of a boo. There, that's it. That's all you got to do. You know, nobody likes to be told what to do. Come on, let's be honest. Nobody likes to be told what to do.
I definitely don't, especially by him.
Nobody likes to be told that what they believe in is wrong or has a fault in it, right? Nobody likes to have their mind changed, like, by force, and, you know, all these other things.
You can't change somebody's mind by force.
Especially here in America. In America, we all got
opinions, and we all think we're right.
They're like, it's like a butt. Everybody has one. Sorry, opinions are like butts. Everybody has one. I hope so. I would like to meet someone who doesn't have one.
You could have, like, the people who just straight.
Well, okay, but, like, everybody has everybody has
back and crack.
An a-hole. How about that?
How about the people who don't have...
Damn, babe. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to like exclude anyone. Jeez, everybody has a shit. I don't know. Everybody has a
heart,
a cell. Everybody's got a cell in their body.
A lung, a brain.
I mean, I don't even know at this point. I'm pretty sure some people have been born with like really messed up. No, I said a cell. Everyone's born with cells in their body.
True.
There you go. I hope so. I don't even know what that would look like if you didn't have. I guess you just wouldn't exist, huh? Anyway, getting off topic.
Atoms.
Everybody's made out of atoms. Yeah,
molecules.
Everything has them. Well, I mean, imagine everything had an opinion. Like, what would this coffee mug say? You know, stop drinking me.
Damn, this coffee's hot.
It's not. It's water.
I know, but that's what I would say. It's a coffee.
And then the coffee would be like, excuse me. I have every right to be hot because that's what I like to do. And they'd be like, I prefer you when you're cold. And he's like, oh, you're being racist against us hot coffee? See, that's what would happen if everything had an opinion. That's what it would be like. In America. Hot. So what the hell are we trying to say here, guys?
Sorry, we keep going off topic.
We're saying that we have no idea. I have no idea. When people used to tell me those scenarios, because she used to do it to me all the time, she would say, what would you do if like I was in a store and like a Jaguar came and then like it came out of the box and it had a gun in his hand?
I am not as bad as my sister.
No, you're not. But like it was like a ridiculous scenario, and I would just be like, I don't know, because I don't think about stuff like that. I don't do it
anymore. Not
no,
that much.
I know, but like you know what I'm saying? Like that's
I don't do it anymore, not that much. I just contradicted myself.
Yourself like immediately after you said something. But you know what I mean? Like that's kind of how I approach a lot of stuff. You know, I don't know if.
So what would you do if I got in a car crash right now?
I'd be like, how were you driving if you were sitting next to me? You know, I don't know. I would have to be in the situation and assess it there. You know what I mean? Like I don't. Maybe it's bad of me to like not think ahead.
Yeah, but don't you sometimes, put yourself in situations that you see something happen and you're like, what would I do in that situation?
I do that a lot with like
because
like if somebody
did that.
came into the house. That's what I do.
Because I did that. I mean, I do that too because,
I always think of like
why
a
not?
home invasion.
But like when that whole thing happened, on the 3rd, I thought about like what would I do if I was in that Walmart? I
was thinking, well, the only thing I kept thinking was like, because I actually I went to Walmart like a couple days after that, and they had beefed up security and everything, and so I was just thinking like I went from like the grocery section, it's like in the front, and then like I made my way around, and I was thinking like, okay, so at what point, if this happened again, or if I had been here, at what point do I feel like I would have been okay to like be safe enough to do something, either to run away or to like help other people, and like that kind of stuff that popped into my mind. I was like if I'm right here, like I'm literally walking, I was like if I'm right here, like the only thing I really probably have time is to turn around or to like get down, or like if I'm right here, I can probably get behind this. Like that's the kind of stuff that I was doing. But honestly, I don't think anything that I could imagine is anything compared to what the people in that day probably felt. Like there's just no way. There's no way. I mean, I've talked to veterans like that have been like blown up and stuff. And I mean, what the fuck are you supposed to say? I mean, what thank you for your service. No, you don't know what to say. There's nothing much to say. You say like that fucking sucks.
Sorry, popping my fingers. I don't know if you heard that.
Why you pop your fingers, baby? That's disrespectful.
Because it feels good.
Your shirt is really nice, by the way. I was going to tell you that. Whoever made these shirts, if you're watching, if you know who made these shirts. By the way, if you want to go get a shirt, link in the description. We could. You want to link it? I mean, you can find El Paso Strong shirt. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are selling them. Some people are selling them for profit. Some people are selling them for the victims.
That's so, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm telling you, man. Listen, I say a lot of shit because I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Sometimes I just need to talk. And then eventually I kind of like, start really bad. But the thing is, the main thing that I want to talk about is that how are you supposed to stop people from doing bad stuff?
No, yeah. And then like even because there was GoFundMe pages up and people were like, be careful because people are trying to gain profit. Like they're they're putting up GoFundMe pages for profit, and it's not even going to the victims, it's going to their own pockets. Like, honestly, my shirt, I'm not sure if it went to the victims. I wanted an El Paso Strong shirt. I did donate. Nice. I did donate to, you know, the victims, but I wanted a shirt to show my support.
Right.
I hope the money went to the victims. If not, I did donate
to someone.
No, to the victims.
Oh! I thought you meant like you saying like I bought this shirt and I know the money went to someone. I thought the shirt.
It's because everywhere, like the ones for the victims, they were sold out.
Mm-hmm.
Every page that I looked at, they were sold out.
Yeah.
So I really wanted a shirt, and I really liked how this one looked.
That one is nice.
So I was like, why not? I really want this one.
This one's a courtesy of Western Tech.
Yeah, because.
Can you show it?
There we go.
There. For those of you listening to an audio, what are you doing? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, because somebody
but isn't that so sad though? Like, that's what I mean, man. Like, just as much as I can't comprehend somebody like we willing to come out here and hurt people, I can't fathom somebody being like, "Oh, now's my chance to make some dough, and I'm gonna make these freaking t-shirts."
It's really horrible, stupid, right? Like, you think about it, it's really horrible,
man. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just maybe we're not meant to understand every single motive. Like, maybe there is such a thing as like just bad things happen because it happen, and it's the stuff that we do after, or the things that we do ourselves to prevent things, or from us doing something bad. I think that's the bare minimum that you can do. Like, imagine if somebody when somebody talks to you and is like, what are you doing against women's violence, or like violence against women? And you tell them, I'm doing the bare minimum. And what does that mean? I'm saying I don't go around and I don't beat my wife. I want to go around and beat other people's wife, other people's wives. Shut up. Unless it's like in the octagon. You want some? Yeah. Let's go.
Throw it down.
I don't do that, right? And the same thing when I have two daughters, so I'm gonna teach my daughters like don't let yourself be in an abusive relationship. That's what I'm doing. I feel like that's the bare minimum.
Well, I want to teach our daughters because I've seen like lots of videos where girls are hitting guys, and then obviously they hit them back. But I want to teach
it's bad,
our kids to be like, hey, if you go and hit somebody, whether it be a boy or a girl, be prepared to get hit back.
Well, isn't that like the whole golden rule of like respect? Do unto others as you would.
Yeah, but like people are like, oh my god, like these guys are hitting these girls and stuff like that. But I'm just like, the girl hit him first. Like, is he not supposed to? Like, okay, yeah, he can hold her down, but sometimes that can, Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe guys should hit girls. But if she's attacking him, and I've seen girls who are strong and they will beat a guy down.
Right.
Let him defend himself.
It's,
but like not to like where she's like unconscious, like Burr, enough to stop her and run away.
Bill Burr had a funny bit about that because he was saying like, there's no reason, there's no reason to hit a woman, and he was like, really? There's absolutely no reason to hit a woman? Like, I'm like, it's true. Like, it's a little ridiculous to say there's absolutely no. Like, in no circumstance could you ever hit another person. I'm not even talking about women now at this point. I'm saying anybody. Like, you're telling me that it doesn't matter. I mean, unless you're like a super pacifist, I don't know what that would even look like. You would just let somebody punch you over and over again. I don't know. Like, there's absolutely no reason to ever like swing back. Like, nah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Nothing is black and white, and that is really. I keep saying, you like how every time that I say something like kind of prolific, I always go, and that's the major thing that I want to talk about. That's the kind of podcast that I like to run, okay? I have many, many main points. But the thing is...
and this is my other main point. We're just going to have like a list of main points. This is the main point. Down.
This is the main point right here, okay? I don't believe that the world is black and white. At least not for everything. There's a lot of things that I have that maybe are biases and because of the way that I grew up.
There's many colors. There's
so much gray.
It's a freaking rainbow. Life's a freaking rainbow.
Yeah. And which is basically white. Isn't rainbow white? Like, isn't like the spectrum is like white breaking down?
I'm just talking about colors, babe. Why are you trying
to... Oh, man, I was trying to get all, like, scientific.
No. Stop.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No.
You never seen, like, Pink Floyd? The Pink Floyd cover album with the... Anyway. So, yeah, that's kind of what we... That's kind of, like, really the gist of what we were trying to say, you know. We're just trying to figure things out. We're not here to offer you guys a solution. We
kind of went on a tangent. We did.
Bit, so let's just try to see if we can bring it back. So the main idea here is, so how do you deal with the random bad things that happen in life? Well, honestly, one thing that I think you could do is that you could try to outweigh them, or at least appreciate the random good things that happen to you. You know what I mean? If everything's random,
positive thinking.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, I guess like counting your blessings. There is merit to that.
So there's a good way to think positive, and then there's also a way where it can hurt you to think positive.
Well, yeah, like
that's kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. If I was talking to my cousin about that on the other show that I have. I guess I'll plug it now.
Yeah, just link it.
Yeah, there you go. We had another similar conversation in this other show that I'm doing with my cousins. I'll link it if you guys want to go check it out. But because he was kind of in that train too, like he was saying, like I disagree. I think you have to be positive all the time and kind of like be like I could do it, and then good things happen to you. And then I was like, okay, yeah, but the thing is that you have to base those things on reality.
Yeah, I was watching it.
Yeah, you have to base those things on reality. You have to, because you know what I mean. Like if I go down the street and I see a gentleman, he's on a wheelchair or something, and he's like, I'm gonna go be the next quarterback of the NFL, or like be the next point guard for the Celtics or something. As much as I want to be positive for him, I was like, hey man, you go after that dream. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, either he's gonna achieve his dream, but like in a different, like a different magnitude. It's not gonna be exactly the way he wants. I'm assuming. I don't know. Maybe he gets robot legs or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that
would be cool.
That would be really cool. I would see that. I would watch that. Basketball.
You would chop your own legs off to get robot legs.
I don't even watch basketball, football. But if I saw a dude with robot legs, just killing it, I'd be like, "Yo, that guy followed his dream and he found it." But you know what I'm saying? There's hundreds of thousands of people that are like that. They just kind of they dream big, and there's nothing wrong with dreaming big. But like, you kind of have to also be prepared if and when. I didn't say that it's going to fail. I'm just saying if and when you fail. And I think the way you do that is by just throwing that little bit of realism in there and saying like, hey, I'm going to do this and everything's going to be great. Unless it doesn't, then I'll move on. Then we'll go on to the next thing, or we're going to keep going. So I think that's kind of that's the main idea.
But then you also have like those for me, there's also two types of positivity. There's like positivity where like I'm putting this out in the world and I'm just gonna sit and wait and let it happen.
Right. Oh, okay.
Or like the positive, like thing. Other people who are like, I'm gonna like
be the change.
This is why I'm gonna put it out in the world
and make it happen.
But I'm going to make it happen.
Exactly.
And but like it also sucks that if it doesn't happen, there's some people who are just like so invested in being like positive, like, oh no, but it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen.
Right, like you kind of.
And sometimes they're too, like they have visors, like blinders on, to where they can't see what else is going around them. Another possibility.
It's inexplainable, man. I mean, because just as much as you can say, like, because hindsight's always 20/20. You always hear these people like, oh, I became a millionaire because I just did my best or whatever. But like the thing is, like.
If only we can.
How do we? If he hadn't become a millionaire, if he had done everything right, and you could say that he had every single opportunity to do it, and it still didn't happen for him, what do you say to that? I can't explain. Maybe I can say there's a lot of things that contributed to someone being successful, but if he was successful, I don't know if I could be like, this is exactly what I have to do to be like him, right? To recreate it is what I'm saying. I don't know if I could recreate it. And I definitely wouldn't know what to say if he did fail and why he failed. If I'm seeing that he did everything that he was supposed to.
Well, even if you try to recreate it, doesn't mean that you're gonna have.
That's what I'm saying. Like outcome. You just don't know what's gonna happen. I have no idea. So I don't like when people pretend they have an idea. Oh, why can't we just accept the fact that some things happen for No,
yeah, but
that's the main idea of the video.
Yeah, but some people do like try to search for reasons,
Yeah.
Like.
And they come up with their own theories.
Yeah.
Don't settle for one way of doing things. That's all I'm saying. That's what if anything, that's what I'm preaching. I want you guys to be critical when you think about something, okay? Just because somebody tells you like this is what you got to do all the time, and because it worked for me, and because my dad did it and he became president of Guatemala or whatever. You know what Fidel Castro did, when they did that shit, like, why Hitler was so successful? Oh, I mean, not Hitler, but this is why this person was so successful. He followed these 3 steps. He followed the 12 steps of whatever, Alexander the Great, the 10 steps of Larry Bird. I don't know, just random things. And it's like
there's steps for everything.
Everybody's going to have their own interpretation. So you need to go out there and you need to find what works for you, and the rest will happen because it happens. You can't control it.
I think it's funny, like sometimes when we meet new people, or when we start talking about like if we ever get divorced, how we want it to be, and people are like, why are you guys talking about divorce? Are you guys okay? Like you shouldn't be thinking about that. You shouldn't be talking about that.
Why not?
We're like,
why not? It could happen.
But like it happens a lot. People fall out of love.
Parents. Yeah, it happened to my parents.
Not that I want to fall out of love with him.
Absolutely not.
Because I can still use them.
Some people do believe in like jinxes, and people are like, "Oh, you're gonna jinx yourself."
I don't know. I think it's like a topic that is a good thing to talk about. Like if it does happen, like for us, we talk about it because especially since we have children, we're like, if this happens, we want to be like still communicate very well because we have children. Like no matter whatever. Like hatred we have towards each other towards the end, if we even hate each other towards the end, we still want to have that good communication because we have kids together.
Right.
Because, he's my first love. He will always be my first love. He will always be the father of my children and whatnot. And I'm always going to want the best for him, even if I might hate him sometimes.
And if you think about it, we didn't start like that. It wasn't until we were married for a while that we kind of were like more actively talking about it because we were, we come from broken homes, and so we were always saying like, we're not going to be like that. We're going to be, the exception.
My mom was never married. So.
That's true. But you know what I mean? Like, that's what we talk about. Like, we're going to be the exception. Like, it doesn't matter what people say that we're too young and we don't understand. Like, we're going to do it. We're going to be the different.
We're 18 and in love.
We're going to get married. We're gonna be the difference, We're gonna prove everyone wrong.
Hearts over my eyes.
Yeah. We're just like we had those blinders, like nobody can tell us what we're doing. It wasn't until we gained more experience and we realized how shit, being married is not easy. I'm with this person that I love 24/7,
especially that first year
all the
of marriage.
Time, and I see her all the time, and I see all her bad habits, and she's seen all of mine, and it's driving me crazy. So we started talking about it because honestly, I think it goes with the whole thing. If you don't learn your history, you're kind of doomed to repeat it. And I'm a big believer in like you see a pattern, right? You see the evidence and you see all these things happening. The statistics don't lie. People get divorced a lot.
Oh yeah,
it happens all the time. Especially now, people are getting married so young. A lot of people are in the military. I mean, the military statistics for divorce are even crazier, or like hard jobs, like EMT or
EMTs
like police officers
and firefighters. They have a high divorce rates. So like, I'm not an idiot, Like you tell me like all you gotta do is love each other. It's like, I mean, yeah, okay, cool. I want to do that, obviously, but the evidence is still against you a little bit, Like to say to deny it. I'm sorry, to deny the fact that all this evidence is there, right? Either you're wrong, either you're right and you're just gonna be the one out of whatever, you're definitely gonna put yourself on the percentage of that's not gonna happen to you, or you accept that hey, like there's a possibility. It doesn't matter how low, it doesn't matter how high, it could happen. That's how we look at it. We talk about it because it could happen. We're not saying that it's gonna happen or that we don't want it to happen. It's just saying it could. And that's how we live our lives. You go outside every day, ladies and gentlemen.
there's a chance that something bad's gonna happen to you, or there's a chance that something bad's gonna happen to somebody you know when you're not around. You never know. We never know. There's too many things to be worried about, and that's why I tell people all the time, like, when shitty things happen like that around the world, just process it however you can and just let it go through, because there's gonna be more tomorrow. It's gonna be more next week, And when it affects you directly, when it's something that happens to you directly, I mean, you kind of have to do that too. You take the information, you process it, you do what you got to do, and unfortunately, you got to move on because, like I said, tomorrow's a new day, tomorrow's a new battle. And I mean, we're all just as unprepared as everybody else. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, just you can't plan for everything, because then you'll never live. YOLO, right? Whoop, whoop. So we're gonna leave it with that, because I think that's a good place to stop. We love we love all the support. The channel's been getting slightly bigger. I say slightly like it's a bad thing. No, please don't leave. Please don't leave. I appreciate it. No.
Stop watching.
We're almost at 400. We're almost at 400. I think we're like at 397.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. Let me show you. We're almost at.
Nice.
Here, let me get the active. Let me get the active subscriber account, because if I misspeak, my daughter was watching my phone, so I have like 3 accounts. Like, one account's like for her and one account's for my wife, because the thing is,
what do you mean one account's for me?
Well, one of them has your name on it. I think it's
because I logged in. Okay, yeah.
Because it sucks when you're trying to watch like your trending, or like, because YouTube gives you like suggestions, and then I'm like watching like Emmy and Wendy play pretend, or like making slime, or some stupid
or Blimpy
kid, or Blimpy, or whatever his name. Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't want to watch that. Why are you suggesting that to me? I'm like, who's been watching my account? So yeah, Reject Bean Soup, 397 subscribers. Our last video, the Brain Freeze Challenge, is almost at 40 views. By one, almost 40 views. That was a good video. We had fun making that one.
Ice cream.
Ice cream is always good. If you guys haven't checked that video out, you should. I am also in the with my cousins. I mentioned it earlier. We did like we're doing like our own little kind of podcast thing. So if you guys want to go check that out, we will link that in the description. It's called Los Terricolas Podcast. I didn't really pick the name, but I did okay it, so I can't really talk smack about it. Yeah.
They are on. It is kind of more like edgy.
Listen, it's like a sausage fest.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're a girl, you might be like, this is not for me, because I wouldn't blame you. It's very, very like 2-3 guys just talking about guy stuff.
Yeah, it's
like nasty stuff.
It's definitely not like a family friendly thing to watch.
You know what
not like ours is.
You know what you could do? Yeah, you know what you could do? You can go listen to the one that I did with them. It's called Mis Primos, right? Is that what I called it?
Yeah, you can he'll also link that.
Yeah, so if you guys want to get like an idea. Actually, it was the one right before this one. So number 22. Mis Primos.
You'll
RBP.
still link it.
I don't have to link everything.
I'm making him do a lot more work.
I know. We haven't even taken the Instagram photo yet for the Instagrams. Where are we at now? Almost at an hour. So yeah, we're gonna keep it. I kind of figured we were gonna be talking for a while, but yeah, guys, listen, be positive, or be negative, or be cynic. But you do what you feel like is right.
You do you, boo.
You do what you feel like is right, ese. And then if the next day you feel like, hey, maybe I should be different, then try it. Because you never know. You never know, ese. It might be the one. It might be the thing that gets you out of your rut. Don't stay stagnant.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No, for real, like.
Okay, Milos.
Always Milos. What's that?
No, is it? It's Milo, right? From Blood In, Blood Out.
Oh,
Miklo, whatever.
Oh, Milos. Wasn't it? Milos is like a Russian name.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought that's what. Oh, because he was white.
There's a dude named Milo. There's a dude named Milos on Seinfeld, and I was like, do you watch Seinfeld?
No.
Oh, okay. No. That's the next episode. Why Seinfeld sucks.
Miklo, there you go. Sorry.
Yeah. Just go out there and do it, guys.
I'm not good with names.
Just go out there and do it. Just go out there and learn. Go out there and talk to people. Go out there and get different perspectives. Go out there and just Do it. Okay?
Nobody wants to see your bats.
Nobody wants to see it. And if you guys would... What?
The bats in the cave.
Wow.
Nobody wants to see that.
Wow. Do I have some? You're so mean. Listen, if you guys have a question, if you guys want to comment on the things that we're talking about, if you guys think that we're full of shit, and you're like, hey, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Because I do talk a lot, and I don't say very much.
He does talk a lot.
Please, leave it in the comments.
I have to try to like jump in anytime I can.
Leave it in the... Yeah, put a crowbar in between. Leave it in the comments, okay? Let us know. Let us know. I'm going to do it to you. See how you look it.
Okay, I don't talk as much as you.
See how you like it, is it? Okay. Yeah, please leave it at those locals forever.
Whatever.
If you guys want to see, if you guys want to tell us something, like if you guys want to call us out, if you guys think that we're full of shit, if you guys think that we're right, if you guys want us to elaborate on something that we kind of barely touched on, because you know what? We touched on a lot of stuff, and I don't even think that we elaborated on a lot of the stuff of it. So please leave in the comment section below and check out all the cool stuff in the description that I'm going to put, because it'll be like 3 paragraphs apparently. I'll leave the link in the description.
Like everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna put. Obviously, you guys can see in the link in the description. There'll be our Instagram name, my Snapchat name. And if you guys want to check out our Facebook page, that's just rejectbeansoup on Facebook. And then we'll leave a link to the show, the Terricolas Podcast, if you guys want to check that out. And then I'll also link the podcast that I did with my cousins for some reason. No, you know what? I'm making an executive decision. It's only gonna be the link to the Terricolas Podcast.
You guys can just do the work and look for...
it's literally the podcast.
You guys put in the work.
It's number 22.
Put in the work.
That's why I number them. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.
Don't be lazy. Put in the work.
Always enjoy it. Hopefully you guys like this new kind of aesthetic we're going for.
You don't see all the only reason crap back there?
Yeah, the only reason there's a blue background is because we don't have like our own little studio yet. That would be cool one day when we have our own house. We can have like an office and we can put some cool stuff behind there. But
yeah, it'll be like an office / crafting room.
Yeah, we'll put like some fabric.
2 tables.
We'll have like
one
some
for him,
fabric and some bobby pins.
I don't work with fabric.
Or we'll have some paper and some canvas. Some pipe cleaners. The big ones, not the little ones.
I like crafting.
We don't F with those
all
little
you guys
pipe cleaners.
I don't know.
Yeah, she does like to craft.
I don't do it a lot.
Maybe we'll do a video when we do some crafts.
Oh, God.
Leave it. Actually, we're going to do it anyway, so I don't even care. Anyway, again, thank you so much for listening, guys. You guys are cool. Appreciate it. And we will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.